Okay, here's question number 14 on the higher non-calculator paper. Reading the question first, the question says the bearing, so I know what sort of topic area this question is dealing with. The bearing of a ship from a lighthouse is 050 degrees. Work out the bearing of the lighthouse from the ship. So in the previous part they told us the bearing of the ship from the lighthouse, and now they said work out the bearing of the lighthouse from the ship. I'm going to draw a diagram to help me with this. I'm not going to draw it to scale, I'm not going to measure the angles and stuff, but I'm going to draw a diagram to try to help me with this. So the first part, the bearing of a ship from a lighthouse. So because it's from the lighthouse, we're measuring the angle from the lighthouse. So I'm going to put L for the lighthouse. And remember, bearings are always measured from the north, so I'm going to draw a vertical line that is going to represent the north. And the bearing of the ship from the lighthouse is 50 degrees. So I'll just sort of estimate that there is about 50 degrees. So the ship could be anywhere along that line there. So let's just say the ship was over there. Alright, so that's where the ship is. That there is 50 degrees. And when we write bearings, we write them as three figures, so 050. That's why it's written like that. But that angle there is 50 degrees. What they want us to do now is, they said, work out the bearing of the lighthouse from the ship. So this time, from the ship, if I draw my north line here, so from the ship, the bearing of the lighthouse is going to be this large angle over here. That's what they want us to find. Okay? They want us to work out what that angle is going to be. Now, there's several different ways or methods you can use to work this out, right? But they involve you thinking about the rules of parallel lines. Now, if I think about this, right? If I extend this line a bit further, those two angles, this angle here and this angle here, 50 degrees, are going to be exactly the same. So that angle there is 50 degrees because they're alternate angles. Yeah, well, actually they're corresponding angles. These two angles are corresponding angles. So this angle, it corresponds to this angle here. So that's why it's 50 degrees. So I'll put the reason up here. Put alternate again. It's because it's corresponding angles. Right? And corresponding angles are equal. So those two angles are corresponding and they're exactly the same. What I've left with is this part of the angle over here, and that you could see is a straight line. So this section of the angle is going to be 180 degrees. So my answer, which is, I'm going to rewrite this part of the question, the bearing of the lighthouse from the ship is going to be 50 degrees plus 180 degrees. Now 50 degrees plus 180 degrees, that's going to be 230 degrees. So a relatively complicated question in one sense. However, it is one that you could work out. You should be quite familiar with it, and if you break it down into stages, you should be able to get the full marks for it. If you take your time, make sure you look at this a couple more times, think about it, and make sure you can get full marks if you get one similar to it.